Duct tape. It's traditionally used for ventilation work, but our guest this morning is going to demonstrate for us a whole new craze. It's no longer the case. It's actually turning into all these different colors. I'm super excited about this. Chris Taylor is a fashion merchandising major at Western Illinois University, a senior fashion merchandising major actually to be exact.
Yes.
And he is joining us this morning. Fabulous trend. It's hitting all over the place. I want to know all about it.
Well, first, thank you for having me here this morning.
You're welcome.
When I was asked to start working with duct tape, personally, I had never worked with duct tape or anything of the nature before, but I went to the local hardware store, and you can find it anywhere, and they have like 24, 25 different colors and patterns, and I just started getting creative. So I remember back in high school, everybody made duct tape wallets, and that was before you had, you know, the fun color duct tape now. So I just kind of sat down and started one day, you know, piecing things together, and as I went on, I realized that it was kind of important to, if you're teaching this skill to someone, it's easy to watch a YouTube video and see how to make one specific item, but if you really want to get creative, you kind of need a set of rules, like a painter needs a set of basic steps when they learn how to begin to paint and how to mix colors. So
what should we know?
Well, there are three basic steps and three basic tools that you should really have to use. The first one is really, really simple. It's how to create a duct tape applique. So if there's a particular design that you like, or a logo, or a name that you want to share, it's basically just placing the duct tape down on the cutting board, and I think we have some pictures of that too. Here you go. The first step is just placing it down. The second step is drawing it out, using an X-Acto knife to trim your design, and then the third step is just seeing it there at the end of the heart. Just peel it right off and stick it onto whatever you've got.
So once you peel it off, I mean, that's why you're using duct tape, because it's super sticky. So you're able to peel and stick without it getting...
Absolutely, and I use a cutting board, or you can use glass. I don't know, you'll have to look around and see if you can find some that's good to cut on, but the glass cutting boards, but I prefer the plastic because it peels right off. It won't stick to your cutting board. The second one is basically creating the basis for most of these projects. That's duct tape, what I call fabric. That's sandwiching two pieces of duct tape or multiple pieces of duct tape together. So in the first step, you're sticking it down to the cutting board. I'm using small samples here. For some of the larger projects, I did use a sheet of glass because I'm not cutting it. So you lay down in one direction, overlap your strips of duct tape, peel it up. It kind of is a fun noise. I like it a lot. Flip it over, and then run the duct tape in the opposite direction. And then that third step, you've got a pliable piece of fabric that you can actually start creating projects out of.
So you're making fabric out of duct tape.
Yeah, quote-unquote fabric. You can't sew it on the machine because it'll gum up your needle, but it gives you something to start working with for some of these projects.
So kids are doing crazy things. They're covering their notebooks. They're making their wallets. Over here, they're doing earrings. We're going to get a close-up of this in just a little bit. Also, this morning, we're going to make something. You're going to show us how to make one of these flowers.
We are. This morning, there's 3 easy steps, again, to kind of working with the pliability of duct tape. And so I'm going to walk you through kind of the steps of how to do that, how to do it on a small scale, and you can use that as maybe your inspiration to grow larger and make greater things.
Wonderful. Well, I'm excited to get this project started, and we're going to do that in our next half hour. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning.
Thank you, Hannah.
You're welcome. You're staying. Welcome back. We are back with Chris Taylor, WIU fashion merchandising senior. Amazing stuff going on with duct tape. If you can believe it, this stuff is made out of duct tape. He's already got me all dolled up this morning, too. We're going to make one of these awesome flowers in just 1 second, but first I want to talk about these 2 bags.
Yes. They initially started when my younger brother, he's having number 2 at the beginning of July. Hopefully, she wants it a little bit sooner, maybe the end of June. But he wanted a manlier diaper bag, and I said, I've got a bag that I can make for you. So using the fabric technique we talked about earlier, you can find on my Facebook page, I just made big sheets of duct tape and sandwiched it together, and now he doesn't know it yet, but he's got a big diaper bag that's coming his way.
Awesome. And this one, too, real quick, tell us what is actually underneath of the duct tape.
Yes, the same sandwiching or fabric making technique, except in between the layers, I used a cereal box, and I just trimmed it out and folded it up.
So cool. I absolutely love it. So all this stuff is made with duct tape. You can find it at your local hardware store, all different colors and different patterns. But we want to make one of these flowers. So tell us a little bit about how to make this.
Well, it's Really very, very simple. Back to those 3 basic duct tape techniques that I've got listed on Facebook. The third one is going to be the beginning steps for this project. So you just need a pen, a skewer. You could even do hairpins. So, you know, it just depends on the size of square that you're going to cut for the beginning of this project. So the first step is just to cut a square of duct tape. Really very easy. The second step is going to be folding it over, just so you've got a little bit available on each edge.
Okay.
So you kind of got it like this.
So it doesn't matter the size of the square, it doesn't matter the shape, none of that matters, right?
You kind of want it to be like a square, but if you aren't, you know, able to cut a perfect square, it's okay.
Well,
you can make it
work.
Messing
this up. See? Goodness.
Yep.
Okay.
You just fold it so you've got a little bit of sticky on both sides.
Okay.
And then your next step is going to be folding it over, just one of those stickies back over. And so you've got a little triangle with a little bit of sticky on the bottom. So that's pretty simple, right?
So you're going to make sure it's sticky up at the top.
And so the back side, you've got your pattern. What you're going to do is take your skewer, and you're going to start, of course, by wrapping it, the first one, all the way around.
So that makes that inside petal.
But you're going to want to do this on the other end of the skewer. I started a project a little bit earlier just to kind of show you guys. I varied colors. You can do this, but you just start alternating all the way around, and you can make it as big or as small as you want.
So whenever you do this, you obviously start on the end that it's not so sharp, so you don't jab your eye out like I about did. Or yours, Chris, sorry. But then you just alternate, so you just keep going around and around and around.
And you just stick it down, and you can alternate colors, designs, whatever you like.
So here's my question. As it gets further down, you want the petals, if you're doing like a real flower, to get further out. So do you bring them, like on the back side, I don't know if you guys can see this, but do you bring them further out to make the petals stand out further?
It's really up to you, whatever kind of design you want. Like on this one, I wanted the petals and the size of it to be about the same, so I just kept coming and working in further on the base.
Okay.
And then once you're done, you can pull that skewer out if you would like, if you want it to be an accessory for like your headband or something like that we've done over here. But I just wrapped this one with the green duct tape and made a little leaf, which is really simple. You just fold it and stick it on.
You know when you go into a lot of people's offices, they don't want people to steal their pens and they'll put the flowers on the end of them? This would be even way cooler, but I'm afraid people will probably take their pens.
That's what I was going to say. Awesome. They would probably yank this one from you. So if you do this, chain it down.
But you can do anything. Like you said, if you want to pull this off here, you can put them on hairpins. You've made wallets. You've made folders. Over here, there's actually earrings, too. I don't know if we can get a close-up of these, but they're so cool. I'm sporting a pair of them right now. Well, how do you do the earrings, just real quick? Because these are pretty awesome,
basic fabric making technique that we talked about earlier, just in a very small scale. So you sandwich your 2 pieces together. I put a third piece on top of one side. That was a solid you see here. And then just the light touch of an X-Acto knife. Trim out your design and then peel back what you don't like. The faces of and the back side of duct tape, they stick together on a roll, but they're easy to separate. Same principle. So as long as it's not sticky sides together, it's pretty easy to separate if you need to.
So it sounds like you really just need to get a bunch of different colors that you like and just go crazy with great ideas and just keep trying different things.
Yes, and like I said, if you get on my Facebook page, it's R-E Consumed, C-O-N-S-U-M-E-D, and then the number 4 and the letter U.
So
get on there.
Reconsumed for you.
Yes.
Okay.
If you look it up, like it, you'll see I've got 3 of the basic techniques we talked about today, and that's kind of like the initial of how to mix colors for duct tape, as we talked about earlier with painting.
Yeah, and you have a lot of cool stuff on your Facebook page, so you can go on there and get some really fun ideas. Reconsumed for you. Make sure you go on there, like it, and check out all of Chris's stuff. Chris Taylor, thank you so much for joining us this morning.